wasn't emotionally or mentally strong enough yesterday to joust with Cassie. I identified it early, and I knew that I was not going to win any jousting battle with her yesterday.
You make it sound like we're getting dressed and I'm trying to pierce you through the heart with a javelin.
Intellectually, yes.
That's probably true.
So I just know when you come to the table and you're going to have a debate with Cassie. I mean, she went to Emory and all,
You got to bring your A game, man.
Better bring your A game. And yesterday, I told you guys I had this doctor's appointment, and something that happened, and it was just really, really jarring yesterday. And it affected me the entire day. In fact, I was telling these guys, I lied to my dentist yesterday. So if you guys are listening, I'm sorry. I was just having a real down day yesterday, and I had a teeth cleaning yesterday at my dentist. And I sat down and I said to her, I'm like, how liberal are you guys with this nitrous? And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, because I get super anxious at the dentist. And she said, oh, we'll just set you up in another room. And I just needed to escape for a couple of hours.
We don't condone that, by the way.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. But yesterday, the debate was going to be all about the very controversial Bluey. Welcome to the hippest morning show in America.
Of all time.
Yep. If you didn't know it then, you know it now.
Who on the show has young kids? You get one guess. That would be Cassie and Kristen.
I have never watched one episode
It's so good.
of the show, but you come in here almost weekly talking about it because you watch with Jimmy.
Oh, I mean, Jimmy, Joanne, who used to work on the Bert Show, this was I will never forget. She told me at the Bert Show's 20th anniversary party about Bluey and that Jimmy would love it. And we started watching it a couple years ago. He's only 2. We started watching it a year ago. And he was just obsessed. And they're 8-minute long episodes, and it's about a family of 4. There's the mom and dad. You have Bandit and Chilli, and they have 2 daughters, Bluey and Bingo. And Bluey, I think in the start of it, is 6, and Bingo is 4. And it's just cute little life lessons and good lessons for kids, but it's also entertaining for adults because there's stuff as a parent you totally relate to, and then there's some jokes that are over the kids' heads, which is really nice. But Bart and I thoroughly enjoy watching Bluey along with Jimmy.
So you're thinking, like a show like this, what could they possibly do that is going to be even this much controversial? Well, they did. Based on this clip. Now, I briefly saw the clip yesterday. I actually listened to the audio, but it's a dad who is now on a scale, right?
Yes.
And these words come out of his mouth while he's got one of his kids around. Bluey is the kid?
Well, Bluey was hiding in the tub. He did not know that she was there, but he's in the bathroom thinking he's by himself and stepping on a scale to weigh himself.
Okay, and here's the clip.
Oh, man.
Why did you say, oh, man?
I just need to do some exercise.
Tell me about it.
Why don't you just do some exercise?
Same old reason, Bluey. You kids and work.
Us? Why don't you do it now?
All right, so that became very controversial because there were a lot of people that were worried that it might negatively affect children's body image and even lead to dangerous problems like eating disorders. And people were going over the top on this thing, and I was just kind of rolling my eyes at it because I thought it was overreactionary. And I think I said that in studio. And I could immediately tell that Cassie, I knew she would have a different take than I did on the whole thing. Right?
I do. So I tried to watch the entire episode, but it's only been aired in Australia, and I couldn't find it online. But in the clip is online, and it's the parents, Bandit and Chilli in the bathroom, and both Bluey and Bingo are there. Bingo's on the floor. But the thing is, you don't see this just from on air. So Bandit, the dad, is standing on the scale, clutching his fat, looking at himself in the mirror disappointedly. And then at the end of the clip, the mom, Chilli, gets on the scale and goes, oh, or something similar to that. Like, she doesn't talk a lot, but there's a disappointed sigh about it. And the whole episode is about exercise and how exercise is important.
which I 100% agree with. I think that is a great thing to teach your kids. I teach my kids. If you go for a walk, if you want a dance party, climbing at the playground, jump, like there are so many different ways we can move our bodies to feel good. It makes our bodies feel good. It makes our mental health feel good. It's an important part of life. My problem is specifically with the scenes on the scale, looking in the mirror, grabbing the fat rolls, because then you're sending the message, it's not about health. It's about the looks. And that's what I have an issue with, because I know this seems over the top. I get it. But the seeds of things like fat phobia are planted in small instances like this. So we always tell moms, or I tell moms that we've discussed on the show before, don't comment about your body in front of your kids if you don't want them to grow up hating their own body, because they emulate you.
They pick up on that stuff fast.
Right? Even if you're not commenting on your kids' bodies, if you're like, I hate the way I look in this, oh, I'm so fat, oh, I should have eaten that, oh, I got to go to the gym because I had a hamburger. Kids learn that. So what's happening then is you've got two parents looking at themselves in disgust at numbers on the scale and in the mirror and grabbing their extra fat, which is normal on a lot of people. Lots of people have some fat, and looking at it in a disgusted manner. So now kids watching it are getting the message, if I look like that, it is bad. I need to go exercise. And that's what happens is then when they grow up, they remember those things, and it's all these little touch points that are from all over. I can barely watch a show sometimes without there being a fat joke or a fat character or somebody making an offhanded comment about weight, and it reinforces the message that people's fears is if they end up looking like me, an overweight person. And what also happens is even if your kid doesn't gain weight or doesn't become overweight, and even if you have the best kids, the best person in the world, it is very hard to shake the fat phobia. And what I mean by that is you're not scared of fat people, but if you
Run for your life!
Okay, you freaked me out, so I can only imagine people listening to the radio right now how hard they just jumped.
The phobia is real.
But what happens is that people grow up and they look at fat people and they're like, oh, that's disgusting, lazy, unmotivated, all of these things, which are not. And if you don't think that, I want you to think of a super hot woman eating a hamburger and it's dripping down her face and how that's like super hot. Now think of an overweight fat woman with rolls eating a hamburger and it's dripping down her face. And if you feel differently about those two images, that, my friend, is fat phobia. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you are making a judgment based on how someone looks. And that's the issue I have with this.
So in knowing that I was going to have to debate an Emory grad on this whole thing, when I tell you that I came in here with a page and a half of statistics, health statistics, ready to joust with you on this, I am not lying, okay? So statistics like a little over 42% of American adults have obesity, while about 0.7% are overweight. And then I have all sorts of statistics in how being overweight can affect your overall health, like type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease. And as I was listening to the clip, I'm like, the only thing I think that's not debatable here is if she focuses on the scale, I'm screwed, which is what you did today. Yeah. So I agree with you.
Save that.
I absolutely agree with you. Like
time and date.
If they were taking a walk together and Pops was out of breath and he said that I need to exercise more.
They've done that in an episode before.
Have they? Mm-hmm. Then I feel like it's more of an appropriate way to introduce that into into the show. But the fact that it happened on a scale and there was shame that he was feeling, because look, there are different shapes and different sizes, and health looks different for a whole bunch of different people. But when you are associating the scale with having to go to the gym and the shame that's involved in it, that's not defendable. So I wasted my time. I agree with you.
That's the thing. And the thing is, they're also predicting like skinny people can have type 2 diabetes, which is, I know, a big affliction for overweight and obese people. And they're also predicting, too, a lot of skinny people might have type 2 diabetes that is going unchecked because nobody thinks to check them because they look healthy, and that's why you can't judge it. So the entire episode, teach your kids about exercise, teach them about health and about eating well and well-rounded. Just don't teach them to fear what they look like.
Especially when it's associated with the scale like that. So yeah. I totally agree with you.
Yay, we agree. Oh, I'm gonna ride that high for the rest of the day.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched, you can get more of The Bert Show on your favorite podcast platform. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find us. I don't know what any of these buttons do, by the way.